Hey, Highlanders, it's Chad here. Can you guys hear me okay? Everybody hear me okay? Siri, we're good? Okay. Hey guys, we're here today for episode 2 of our Highlander Lives. We're going to go ahead and talk about our second installment, which is life, overcoming obstacles. With that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Sarah, who is she's going to be our new marketing director. So she's been very helpful in getting the two gentlemen here, Rich and Tim, to share their stories with us and talk a little bit about OCR in their lives. So go ahead and take it away, Sarah.
Awesome. Yeah, I want to say thank you in advance to Rich and Tim for being vulnerable, putting yourself out there, being willing to share your stories about how OCR and even Highlander has impacted you. And so I thought what we would do is start with Rich Hobson. Thank you, Rich, for joining us. Just want to kind of get the ball rolling and have you say, before Highlander, before you came to know about Highlander, what was going on in your life? What struggles did you have?
So before Highlander, just a little background on me. I'm an arborist. I'm 32. I climb trees professionally, but I work in a municipality setting now. So I don't climb as much. I'm more in a bucket. So I actually was about 218 2 years ago when I started where I'm my current job, and I just kept putting on weight, and January was the last time I really stepped on a scale, and it was like 253.6. So I stopped looking after that. I just got upset with myself, and I just decided, don't look at the scale. Mm-hmm. And then that was pretty much just like I started ignoring my problems. Like I started ignoring my weight and just not really caring. And then from there, it just kind of transitioned into doing Highlander when young lad Colin, as the Highlanders seem to call him, he and I are part of a bowling league. We all bowl every Wednesday together for about 6-7 months out of the year. And he just started convincing all of us. He's like, hey, guys, right around end of March, beginning of April, he's like, hey, why don't you guys come do the run with me? Come out to the Highlander Dark Ages. And, all of us were just like, you know what? Why not? So our entire team went. And that's kind of how I started getting into it. I mean, granted, I didn't do any prep work. I genuinely thought I was just going to one-off, do the one event and just be done. Mm-hmm. And then kind of, granted, the first mile I was cussing at him because I didn't expect to be waist deep in water in Dark Ages.
Right.
But what I found by the end of it was I was just so happy with myself for completing it. I honestly wanted to give up like a mile and a half in because I think it was about a 4-mile course if I remember right.
Right.
And that's just kind of where I started. And then I don't know if you have another question, Sarah. I don't want to ramble too long.
Oh no, you're doing fine.
Okay.
I think what we're really curious about is like what was it that did you have any reservations when he's like, hey, come try Highlander? What was it that was going through your mind? And then like did your perception change after you went through it?
Or what changed your perspective?
So what happened was, like I said, I had never earned a medal. I had never really exercised to that extent. And I got home dog tired. I passed out. I slept till 10. Never sleep that late the next day. And I just woke up and I stared at that medal for probably a good 30 minutes. Just stared at it. Mm-hmm. And then I was tracking everything through my watch. Mm-hmm. And I looked and I said, I did that. How did I do that? I did that. And then Colin was like, bruh, just keep going. And he's been one of my biggest supporters this whole time. Like, he's just like, hey, just get out there and just, even if it's walking, just go walk.
Yeah.
So I start, like 2 days later, I started walking. I went over to one of the running companies in Kenosha, got some advice from the guy, bought a pair of running shoes, and then just kept going. And got some great advice from the guy at the running company too. He's like, hey, do intervals, walk for 3, and do your best to run for 1. So from there, I just kept doing that and pushing along. And then I've now completed another obstacle course race. I don't know if you guys want me to say the name, but I completed the Savage.
You can.
Okay. I completed the Savage Blitz down in July. Week before that, I completed the Firecracker 5K in just under 40 minutes. And now my goal is just continued to be healthier. So like I said at the beginning, I last stepped on a scale sometime in January. I was like 253 pounds. I don't know if it was higher than that by the time in Highlander in May, or maybe still around there. But given how I was eating, it was probably higher. I estimate without knowing my true weight when I started this in May, I went from what that last weight was to I'm now down to, depending on the morning, 218 to 220. So I've already lost about 35 pounds roughly.
Awesome.
And
That's
I just
amazing.
want to keep going. That's the thing.
Hey, Rich.
Yes, sir.
Real quick, there's a couple of chats for you here. One from Eddie LeMay that says, good job, keep at it, man. And then another one, a special one from a Colin Painter.
Oh,
he says, proud of you, man.
Yeah, like I said, Colin and I have been friends for the better part of 30 years at this point. But yeah, so like a lot of it just turned into just me wanting to be better at this point. That's exactly what it turned into. And where do I see myself? Well, I'm already registered for 3 more OCRs. I'm registered for the Assault in September. There's one Colin and I just decided to do in August. And my goal is to be, by Siege, is to be 200 or less and be able to complete all the obstacles. Because I ran with Scott at the Savage and I maybe did 60% of the obstacles.
About that, yeah. Good.
Scott was super encouraging too. He's like, dude, just keep at it. He's like, nothing's going to stop you but you. So, like, that's kind of the message you got from Scott. And Scott's been super helpful too.
Your only competition is yourself. Don't worry about everybody else.
Well, I'm Colin.
Yeah, I'm Colin, right. Irish Matt says, well done.
Yeah.
Josh the Juice says, great job. So, so what is your goal? Do you want to do a certain amount of obstacle races per year? You said your weight goal was under 200. Any other goals that you have as far as health and fitness are concerned?
Just staying healthy. Like, honestly, I've never been super healthy, but it's just like I want to get down to like what's technically kind of healthy for my height. I'm only 5'8", so I'm kind of short. But no, the goal is to just see where I'm at by Siege, because that'll be essentially 1 year. And then the next goals from there will be determined at that point. Because I'm going to set myself up to be like, all right, this is my catalyst 1 year in. Let's see what I can do now with the next set of time. But I'm going to wind up doing 6 or 7, possibly even 8 OCRs this year, and I've already done 2 5Ks, so I might do a couple of other 5Ks in there too. But the goal is just keep going. The goal is get to a point where I'm comfortable to where I join the Highlander Assault team. That's where my goal is.
Awesome. Well, we'd love to have you on the team. I know Irish Matt, who's leading that.
Yeah.
Scott's been helping out with that as well. I know that they love to have anybody that's willing to work hard and show good good can't even talk, good teamwork. So, reach out to those guys. Maybe they'll sign you up now. We'll get you rolling with us. They'll give you more opportunities to see some other races. We get discounts and things like that. So we'd love to have you. Reach out to Irish Matt. We'll get you on that. Sarah, did you have any other questions for Rich?
What has your experience been with the OCR community? Just the people surrounding you?
Awesome. Like literally every single person I've met, especially like the Highlander guys, like especially after Dark Ages, like Irish Matt was cool to just be around. Like I'm kind of introverted, so I don't always seek out going over by other people. But dude just got such great energy. Like it was just fun to listen to him. He was just like, shots.
So Irish Matt says, say the word and you're in on the team, buddy. Maybe being part of the team will help motivate you further.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see. I'll have that conversation with him.
So Rich, one question for you. Going into the race, you said that you didn't really prepare. Did you have a perception that this wasn't for you, or that that you were just doing it to kind of shut Colin up, or?
No, I almost balked 2 hours before. I almost texted Colin and said, "Hey, I'm not coming," but I chose not to.
Oh.
I literally went in zero expectations, and then, like I said, the medal and looking at the distance I covered is what's like, you know what? If I did that in one night without any prep, screw it. Let's try and beat it.
Sky's the limit.
You were hooked. You were hooked, which is what happens to a lot of people. They try it and they go, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing! It's so much fun," and it gives you. The uniqueness of it is that you have time in between races and you can like set a goal and move, like be like, okay, this is what I want to accomplish at the next one. And kind of it's motivating in its own way. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, and I think it's a great example, Rich, of how OCR offers something for everybody. As Chad alluded to earlier, you are your own competition, and you can set the bar for what's appropriate to you and make it your own challenge. And I think that's what's great, because you started out almost with no bar, and now here you are raising it every single time, and that's just fantastic. And I think one of the most powerful things about what exists in the OCR world.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like I said, I've like even people that I've just run with, like, or been next to when I'm close to the finish line, everybody's like, yeah, good job. So it's awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the best part about OCR is everybody is equal when you get out on the course. Everybody's supporting each other, no matter, what training regiment you're on. If it's your first time, if you're an elite, everybody's supportive of each other. And that's why we still do this as Highlander Assault. We didn't do this to make money. I mean, obviously, but we do it, for the community. So, Rich, if you could stick around with us, maybe there'll be some questions here at the end. I'd appreciate if you hang out.
Absolutely.
Tim, thank you for being patient. What we're going to do now, though, is I have an opportunity for Rich for this weekend, and for everybody else, I wanted to raise. If you guys can just hang on for me for 1 second, we'll get back to all of you guys. But for right now, what we are going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about AltaFit. AltaFit's one of our grand sponsors here at Highlander Assault. AltaFit's a gym facility that offers high-intensity interval training as well as obstacle race course training. AltaFit's not just a workout facility, it is a community. AltaFit brings its members together to train and attend events such as obstacle races like Highlander Assault. They're coming off the Savage race with the largest team and are currently the biggest team with Highlander Assault with 39 participants. Talk about community, that's pretty big for race team. AltaFit has several locations from California, Indiana, Missouri, to our local gyms on the North Shore in Elmhurst, Libertyville, and Naperville. And focusing on the last two, AltaFit has something special for Highlander racers just like Rich. This weekend, coming up this Saturday, join our very own Highlander Assault team member, Ryan Seifert, on August 5th at AltaFit Libertyville at 6:30 a.m. for a special Highlander OCR training event. Workout is $15 for returning patrons and free for first-timers. What it'll consist of is about a 2-hour OCR training program where you traverse certain obstacles. He'll give you a goal. You have to complete this obstacle, then move on to this one. But in between, you'll do laps, different workouts, maybe do a little biking, rowing, those kind of things. It's a great workout. I attended the last one, and it was really cool. I learned a lot about different grips and things like that I don't see on certain rigs. Come on out and join Ryan out at Libertyville UltraFit. If that's a little too far away from you, they'll also have the workout in Naperville. That one, however, is $25 for everyone just due to limited size. So Libertyville will be $15. It'll be free for a first-time sign-up. If you can't join this weekend or you want to know how to join, if you stop by on another date, you can start your journey at any time. Just go on their website, ultrafit.com, sign up. But if you're looking for the links for these two events that are going to occur next weekend, go back on our Facebook page, just scroll down a couple of spots to our June 28th post. You'll see the links for both Libertyville and Naperville. And we want to thank our sponsor, UltraFit, for doing such a great job for the community. And also, Ryan, we're proud of you. He's also an American Ninja Warrior, for those that don't know. So if you really want to learn from the best, you need to be out there this weekend. Thank you, UltraFit. So we'll get back to our broadcast here. We're going to bring Tim back in. We're going to bring Scott and Sarah, and Rich is going to tag along as well. So let me get everybody back on the screens. Let's see here. All right. Everybody's here. We'll go ahead and see how Tim's doing. How you doing, Tim?
I'm doing great, guys. How's everybody else doing?
Good. Sarah, go ahead and take it away.
So we have Tim Shabicki here. Thank you for joining us and being willing to share your background and your story and how you came to know Highlander and be a part of this journey. So why don't you start by telling us, before Highlander, what was going on in your life and struggles you had, and how did you come to learn of us?
Right. Okay. So I'll try not to ramble too much. I was always very active. I was a college Division I track and field athlete, scholarship, the whole works, but I drank a lot. And as a college, everybody goes through the partying and things like that. And then post college, everybody kind of still partied and did their thing. And then people grew out of it. And as opposed to growing out of it, I just kind of kept mine more of a secret. Alcohol was always involved with my life. I still tried to do some triathlons, some 5Ks, 10Ks, stuff like that. But I was never really reaching my potential because I was addicted. It progressively, as addiction and alcohol does, got worse and worse, and it was a daily thing. And when I started hiding it and stuff like that, I knew something was wrong, but I figured, hey, I'm still young. I got plenty of time to kick it, And then COVID came about, and it wasn't just so much of a nighttime drinker. It would turn into more of a day drinker. And then up until that point, I was able to still get my workouts in and try to run and be fit and active and live that lifestyle. But I was struggling. It was a full-time job managing both, right? And then when COVID came and my job moved us home, my nighttime drinking turned into daily drinking. And along with that came anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, some really dark times and stuff like that. So I'm forever in debt to my wife and my dad for showing up one day and being like, you're going to rehab. And I'm like, why would I go to rehab? I don't need to go to rehab. It's just no big deal. I'm still, I think I was 31 or 32 at the time. And, I learned a lot about myself in rehab, and coming out of that, trying to keep myself busy and healthy as I could and build back to it. The first year out, so I went into rehab in October of 2020, and the first year I came out, I mostly tried to do like distance races. I did a couple half marathons, some 10Ks. I did a full marathon outside Milwaukee just as let me see if I can challenge myself to change my body into a runner and wake up at 5:30 and do that 17-mile workout. And it was more of a personal challenge. I didn't tell a lot of people about it. I just wanted to challenge myself, and I did it, and I was very proud that I did it. But I've never been a natural runner. I did track and field in college, but it was more I did field. I was a high jumper and a javelin thrower, and I had a lot of success with javelin throwing. But I've never been like a pure runner. But because I threw, I kind of had a good balance of strength and running, right? And one of my best friends, Dwayne, approached me early in 2022, maybe end of 2021, and was like, "Hey, let's do some races and get some medals." He's like, "I want some hardware," and I'm like, "Sure." I mean, he kept saying, "Let's get some hardware. Let's get some hardware," and I'm like, "All right, I guess if you want to do it." And he sent me a link to, like everybody does, like the mud, Tough Mudder, because that's the big one. And I was like, Tough Mudder, I don't know. And I did a quick Google search, and turns out that there's a Dark Ages 4K race at night, one town over from me. And I was like, hey, let's why don't we do this? It seems cool. It's close. If we bail or if it sucks, we could just go back to my house and hang out or something like that. But I didn't have any reservations going into it because I knew I had the cardio build up, and I've always maintained kind of that lifting style that I learned in college from my strength and conditioning coach, just because that's the only formal training I really had. So in my gym I do a lot of workouts that aren't your typical go in and bench press and do whatever. I'm still doing power cleans and some things like that. So I was like, let's see what this is about, and I did the Dark Ages, and Dwayne and I ran together, and there was something different about it, and I can't pinpoint it, whether it was the village, whether it was the start with the bagpipes and the Irish accents and all that. I was just like, what? This is wild, right? And get through it, and I had an absolute blast. Going through the tilt to kill at the end and the finish line and all this kind of stuff. It was just like a euphoric, like, excuse my language, like, fuck yeah, like this was great.
Love it.
It was challenging, but it was doable at the same time. And then the one thing that I took as a note, as opposed to why these are different than other races. So I even did an Olympic triathlon 2 weeks ago just to challenge myself for that distance. I've never done that distance before. I've always done sprints, and I finished with it. And I even looked at my buddy who I did it with and my wife, and I was just like, I'm just glad it's over. Like it didn't hit me the same way. I didn't have that physical challenge. My hands weren't hurting. My knees weren't muddy. Like there's something a little twisted about the guys that do these races, and I love it because it fits me. And the one thing that was different to me is you have all these other races, and people will clap for you and say, "Hey, good job! Keep going." Dark Ages, you show up and you're getting over a wall, and somebody's hand reaches down to grab you and help you over, and it's like, whoa! I don't know this person. I might not ever see him again, but they're helping me. So the next obstacle, I make a hand and help that person up, to lift that obstacle. And like people are going out of their way to help people get through these obstacles and these races. And I've now done, I think 7 or 8 OCRs, but none of them compare to the Highlander Assault and the guys that put this on. And like I said, every time I finish one, last year I signed up for this year's races back in like September because I was like, I'm doing Dark Ages, I'm doing Highlander again. And I've increased my distances each time. I've, kind of challenged myself differently each time. This Highlander coming up, I got nudged by Chad a little bit to maybe try the elite. I've never had a problem with the obstacles. My times are always pretty good, but I'm like, I don't know. It's like, what if there's one that I can't do? But it's like, that's the exciting part. It's really cool to keep progressing in this and challenging yourself. And I'll be coming up shortly after the race on 3 years of sobriety since I've started doing this. And
amazing.
These races have really kept me focused, because it's not like I just got to go force myself to do a 3-mile workout. It's like, no, I'm in the gym. I'm training different muscles, different grip strengths, challenging different things. And so it's kind of encompassed the whole fitness aspect, as opposed to I just got to go for a run. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I wholeheartedly like people that do all these runs and challenge themselves in any way that they find that they're capable of is fantastic. Just for me, there's something different. And maybe it's because I'm decent at these, because I'm a good mix of cardio and strength, that I've been pretty successful with all the races I've done. But man, there's nothing like OCRs. And like I said, the Highlander team and the course and the guys, it holds a special place for me. It really kickstarted this journey, and I just can't get enough of it. I keep looking each year for what races I can sign up for, travel here, do this. But as far as I am concerned, I think the Highlander races are always going to be the first ones I sign up for, and I'll work my other ones around them. But they're on my calendar, and that's a testament, like I said, to the race that these guys put on, the way that it's set up. Whether it's the build team guys, whether it's the volunteers in the village and the afterwards with the fires, and it's just there's nothing like it. Getting across that tilt-a-kilt and having people cheering for you, and people you don't even know giving you hugs and high fives and stuff. It's a feeling unlike I've gotten from any other race, and I really look forward to keep doing them.
That's how we do it out in McHenry County, Tim.
That's right.
Yeah.
It feels like home.
All right.
Exactly.
So what I'm going to do now is, Tim, we thank you for the story. I just want to ask you and Rich both. So what do you guys think of us moving to the Siege event next year, all in one day?
Another challenge. It's an awesome. It just keeps progressing, right? There's always something new. There's always more stuff coming on, and I'm really looking forward to it. So it's gonna be awesome.
Cool. Rich,
I think I'm gonna drink a lot of water. I'm looking forward to the challenge.
You have to.
I'm looking forward to the challenge. So
bring your tent, and you can set up a nice little cot or whatever you need. IV.
Not that far.
So.
But.
All right, so let me do this. Let me see if there's any other questions or anything in the comments for you guys, and then what we'll do is we'll start to close out here.
There's some good ones, you guys.
What's that?
There's some good ones. Question for Rich: why are you looking so damn good?
Who's that from?
That's from Colin. He's blushing.
Oh, you don't have almost 30 years of friendship without one of your best friends giving you.
So Tim, Irish Matt, our announcer, Irish Matt, also our team leader for the Highlander team.
Yes, sir.
He posted, "Congratulations, Tim! Inspiring story, and thanks for sharing this."
Awesome.
Check out Warx also after Highlander, of course.
Will do, of course. Thanks, Matt.
Speaking of Warx just had to reschedule their night race, which was scheduled for the same day as ours. So if any of you Warx guys are watching, we highly encourage you to come and hang out with us on that day. You guys are awesome. We'd love to have you and just love to hang out with you. So come on up to Highlander. We'll take care of you. Those that were going to go to Warx, please feel free to come out to Highlander. We also have a 25% discount. You see at the bottom of the screen, 25% off with Battle Bucks. So go ahead and sign up. That's for any category. The kids course is already discounted. It's pretty cheap for the kids. So that's the only one this doesn't work for, but everything else is 25% off. Let me see if there's any more. I got more Warx stuff. Let's see. Be great to see the Richards clan in Illinois. So this is more Warx stuff. All right, all Warx stuff.
Great work. A lot of to the
guys. We really appreciate you having us or coming on our show. If you can just hang out until we're done with this, so that we can ask you a few questions after we drop off the live here, I'd appreciate it. But just for the audience here. For Rich and Tim coming on the show today, they will receive a $50 credit to the Highlander store on race day, so they can stock up on some gear as well. All right.
Swag.
So All right, so we're
Yeah.
going to go ahead and show off our latest commercial here at the end to close us out. If Rich, Tim, Sarah, and Scott can just hang on, we'll chat here after the live, and then we'll take it from there. Next week's live, guys, I'm not quite sure yet, but in the next week or two, I'm hoping to have Abominable Snow Race and Frontline on our show so we can talk about all the locals and how local races dominate over the big corporate races. So hopefully we'll get those guys on here real soon, and that'll be it. You guys have a good one, and we'll see you very soon. Stand by, and we'll go ahead and show our next video. Now let me bring back these jokers. Hey guys, I really appreciate it. I was a little off tonight, guys. I apologize. I worked a night shift last night for the first time in like 6 years at the police station. So I'm on like 3 hours of sleep. I'm going to go to bed right after this for tomorrow morning's 5 a.m. shift. So hope I wasn't too terribly bad. But hey, we really appreciate the stories. People like you are what make our race. So we really appreciate it. And we hope to have you for many years to come. So do you guys got any questions or any feedback for us on the race, how we can make it better or anything like that?
Well, I think we're still live, Chad.
No, I have an end broadcast.
Oh, okay.
Okay.